Right, welcome to our Christmas special. Pull up a chair, grab a mulled wine and a mince pie, loosen something elastic and prepare to be lightly haunted by good news. This is Everything's Fine, probably your weekly antidote to bad news, now with added tinsel. Tonight's episode is loosely inspired by A Christmas Carol, which is comforting because that story is essentially about a deeply unpleasant man being bullied by ghosts until he agrees to stop ruining everyone else's life. One of the more optimistic approaches to personal growth. I mean, I'm not saying Dickens invented self-improvement, but he did popularise the idea that if you're rich, miserable and socially toxic, the universe might eventually send 3 hallucinations to sort you out. Ghosts are going to be busy this year. But anyway, look, we don't have ghosts rattling chains. We've got stories from the past, the present and the future. No jump scares, no Victorian child mortality, just hope, goodwill and the occasional reminder that humans are capable of kindness without being legally obliged to. We'll visit moments from Christmas past that prove doing the right thing can echo for decades. We'll look at Christmas present, where people are currently doing good things in spite of, well, everything. And then we'll peer into Christmas yet to come, where we imagine a future Christmas that's warmer, fairer and slightly less dependent on panic buying batteries. So this is the version of A Christmas Carol where Scrooge listens to a podcast and then forgets to leave a 5-star review. No judgment this Christmas. Settle in, lower your expectations just enough to be pleasantly surprised. And let's begin by saying hello to the only other person who didn't have anything better to do this close to Christmas. Stu, how are you?
Oh, hi Jim. Well, quite the intro there.
There.
Did you know that the Christmas Carol has never been out of print since it was first published?
I did not know that, Stu.
Yeah,
no.
it's the perennial favourite, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And I was listening to a show on the radio the other day, and apparently at the time it caught the zeitgeist of the time about charity at Christmas.
Yes.
And it's kind of propelled itself every year to the present day. You can't walk around any city centre at the moment without seeing A Christmas Carol on in some theatre, can you?
No, absolutely. It's on all the time. Everyone's done a version of it. The Muppets have done it. Doctor Who's done it. Christ, even Tori Spelling has done it.
Some, experts, scholars say actually the Muppets Christmas version of Christmas Carol is probably the closest to the original text.
It's got a lot of the original text in it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I do find amazing is I'm not sure that Charles Dickens would have written The Muppet Christmas Carol, but I think the Muppets could have written A Christmas Carol. So,
well, that I would watch. And Michael Caine there, career best performance.
That's the definitive Scrooge.
Yeah, I think why it works so well is because he played it straight, didn't he? So I think it's time to pull that out again. Get it on the old VHS. Do you still have one of those?
No.
Does anybody? Get it on the old VHS. Get the tracking knob out, and let's watch the Muppet version.
I might just stream it on Disney Plus if that's all right.
I was trying to go for the more authentic, traditional, watch.
I see what you're doing there. You're getting into Christmas Past.
Christmas Past,
yeah. Very good. Nice link. Nice link.
So shall we have a look into Christmas Past?
Let's. So I'd like to start, if I may, Christmas 1914, which, as Christmases go, was not really a vintage year. Europe's in the middle of what will become the bloodiest industrialised catastrophe humanity has yet attempted. Empires are collapsing. Maps are being redrawn, and somewhere a committee has decided that the correct response to political tension is millions of young men in holes throwing explosives at each other. I mean, predictably enough, it's going terribly. The trenches stink, the food's grim, everyone's exhausted, traumatised, freezing, and then Christmas Eve turns up, awkwardly like, "Hi lads, sorry to interrupt the apocalypse." Now, what happens next is one of those moments in history that sounds made up, like it was written by Richard Curtis, who thought, that's a bit on the nose, see if they buy it. Singing stars. Carols flowed across the trenches. Familiar melodies in unfamiliar accents. Silent night of all things, drifting over barbed wire and mud and unexploded shells. And the response was harmonies, not bullets. Now let's be clear, this was not authorised. High Command did not put out a memo saying, lads, quick kickabout, then back to the war. This was soldiers collectively deciding that just for one night the rules could get lost. Men climbed out of trenches they'd been told would mean instant death. They met the enemy face to face, they exchanged food, tobacco, buttons, jokes, photos of families, and they played football, possibly several games, almost certainly with arguments about offside. And here's the big satirical moment. These were the same men their governments had spent months telling them were monsters, subhuman, savage, the enemy. But it turns out the enemy also missed home light football and had strong opinions about sausages. And the truce didn't last, the war resumed, orders came down, artillery fired again. History didn't magically fix itself because of one nice moment, but that moment has refused to disappear. The Christmas truce has done something extraordinary. It outlived the whole war. A century later, we still talk about it. It's in textbooks, films, songs, football club memorials, peace campaigns, advert campaigns that are somehow both moving and slightly inappropriate. Historians point to it as proof that the machinery of war has always relied on suppressing basic human decency. And that's the long-term impact. The truce became evidence that hatred has to be manufactured. Violence needs constant reinforcement, that left alone, ordinary people tend to drift inconveniently towards empathy. Every time someone says humans are just awful, we can point to the Christmas truce and say, well, no, actually. It's a reminder peace isn't abstract, it's not an impossible dream, it's something people choose, even briefly. Even while surrounded by absolute horror, which is why it still resonates now, in a world where conflict is once again explained to us in tidy soundbites and neat moral binaries. It wasn't heroes or saints, and of course it wasn't politicians. No, it was tired, cold young men who decided that Christmas deserved better. And somehow that makes it more powerful. So it's a very Scrooge-compatible lesson. Really, if the ghost of Christmas past were showing this to Scrooge, it wouldn't be sentimental, it'd just be deeply inconvenient, because that truce proves cruelty's a choice. Systems may be brutal, but people aren't always willing participants. Even the sharpest edge of history, kindness leaks out like water through cracked concrete. Deeply annoying message if your worldview depends on everyone being irredeemable. So that's why that story still matters at Christmas. It wasn't perfect, it didn't change the war, but it changed the story we can tell about ourselves.
But still very relevant, isn't it?
Yeah.
This year, Russia have gained 1% on the year before territory of Ukraine.
Wow.
And they've lost 1 million people. So, if we ever learn, Jim?
Well, apparently not. Hey, so that's 1914.
Well, I'm going to take you back to 1968.
Ooh.
Okay, so if you know your history, you know 1968 was a year of fire. It was a year of assassinations, riots and war. Martin Luther King Jr. was gone. Bobby Kennedy was gone. The world felt like it was tearing itself apart at the seams. The prevailing emotion wasn't joy, it was chaos. So, Christmas Eve, 1968, 3 men, Frank Bowman, Jim Lovell and Bill Anders, were sitting inside a tiny metal capsule. This was the Apollo 8. Okay, this further away from home than any human had ever been. They were orbiting the moon. That's kind of a good way to spend Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Is it? Because I mean, it's going to be quite cramped and uncomfortable, and that. But at least you haven't got the family round.
Absolutely. They were looking down at a desolate, grey, cratered landscape. It was dead. It was silent. It was the ultimate isolation. Does sound quite appealing, actually, doesn't it? But then they came round the dark side of the moon and they looked up. Do you know what they saw? They saw the Earth, a tiny, fragile blue marble rising over the dead lunar horizon. It was the first time humanity had ever seen itself from the outside. On that Christmas Eve, facing the infinite black of the universe. They didn't speak of technology or conquest. They spoke to the entire population of Earth. Billions of people listening on crackling radios. And they read this message. Commander, good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth. In a year of division, this moment gave us all what they call the overview effect. It reminded us that when you zoom out far enough, boundaries disappear. 1968 teaches us that sometimes to find a connection, we have to gain perspective. We need to remember that this fragile blue ornament, see what I did there? Mm-hmm. Hanging in the dark, is the only home and the only family we have. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. It is that time to reflect and look back and also think about the year ahead and what do you want that to be.
Well, what that does do, though, is brings us into the now, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Christmas present, which, I mean, if we're being honest, is usually the most stressful ghost, because the past, that's nostalgia, the present, the future's all theoretical, isn't it? The present is the one that's standing there going, so you're right, how you coping?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the now hasn't exactly been gentle lately, has it?
Well, for the last X amount of years, it's been a rough ride, hasn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, we are living through a period of history where every time you open your phone, it's sized before showing you the news.
Yeah.
Everything costs more, everyone's tired, the planet's on fire. So it would be very easy, at Christmas especially, to think, it all feels a bit grim.
Yeah, but the one thing we have got, Jim, as human beings, is hope.
Well, that's true. So let's spread a little bit of that right now, because every year, right about now, something quietly brilliant happens. Across the UK, and I mean everywhere else, frankly, people start organising Christmas, and not the brand sponsored corporate Christmas or the Instagram Christmas, you know, the other one, the community Christmas, the one that's powered by folding tables and tin foil trays and people in Christmas jumpers you wouldn't wear in public serving turkey that they cooked at 5 a.m. going, yeah, sorry it's a bit dry but there's lots of gravy. I think that's, you know, the most British act of love imaginable. So across the UK, you've got charities and volunteers quietly doing heroic things without a single launch video or podcast sponsorship. So take Crisis at Christmas, opening their centres so thousands of people experiencing homelessness can get hot food, medical care, haircuts, legal advice, and I think probably most importantly, dignity. On their shelter, spending Christmas reminding the government that no one should be homeless. I mean, it's not really a radical concept. It's literally the bare minimum for a society that claims to be civilised. But there we go. The Trussell Trust, making sure food banks don't just exist, but actually reach people before the cupboards are completely bare and panic sets in. Age UK, tackling Christmas loneliness head on, because nothing says festive like knowing someone noticed you didn't have anyone to spend the day with. None of that's new. It happens every year, quietly, relentlessly, despite everything getting harder. Which is wild, because Christmas is already stressful enough, let's be honest. You're juggling money, time, family dynamics, the annual realisation that nobody actually likes Secret Santa, and we're just too damn British to admit it. And yet people still go, yeah, go on, I'll volunteer, I'll donate, I'll cook, I'll show up. And that stuff, I mean, it matters more than we pretend. Loneliness spikes at Christmas. Mental health dips, people feel forgotten, left behind, like everyone else got an invite they missed, and then suddenly they're in a room where someone remembers their name, how they take the tea, they don't like mince pies. And weirdly, that stuff, it scales. That same instinct, it shows up everywhere. People donating anonymously, people volunteering on Christmas Day, people choosing kindness even when they're skint knackered and one email away from screaming into the void. So Christmas present, it's not flashy, it's kind of stubborn. Just refuses to stop showing up, despite the news, the costs, the exhaustion. It's proof that even now, actually especially now, people still look around and think, someone should do something. And then quietly, they do, and that's really reassuring. Because if we're capable of that in the middle of it all, then maybe the present's not that bad and the future isn't as bleak as we think it might be.
Well, as we started that segue there, it's about hope, isn't it? And you talked earlier about your story in the past. If left alone, we will slide to empathy, won't we?
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
human beings. You see somebody in need. Most people, there's always the exception, will instinctively look to help somebody out, won't they, if they see them in need?
Yeah, we try to instill in my daughter this idea of if you can help someone, well then do.
And I think, it can also be a good thing for positive change, because if you do something good for somebody, then hopefully they will then do that also. And then you get that chain, don't you?
That's it, pay it forward idea.
Absolutely.
Because you're in a better mood, someone's just helped you, of course you're more likely to help someone else.
Well, volunteering actually does make you feel better. It's a part of your brain which then gives you endorphins, and you instantly feel better about yourself. That person's got the benefit of you helping them, and you feel better also.
Yeah, we've got some stuff from the Royal Voluntary Service. Reconnects you with your community, helps create new friendships that keep loneliness at bay, gives you better physical and mental health and well-being.
Good for your mental health, it's good for your physical health, and it gives you that sense of being connected. And a big thing about this podcast, and now all year, is about being part of a tribe, isn't it? Part of a community. And we all know by being part of a community, then everybody benefits. So let's celebrate all those unsung heroes this Christmas. All those people out there volunteering quietly, stubbornly, as you say. Have a great Christmas to all the volunteers out there.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you all.
And whilst we're talking about empathy and kindness, have you heard of the concept of the wall of kindness?
I have not, no.
Okay, well, it started in Iran and is now spread globally, but takes on special shape during the holidays in modern cities. It's a simple concept. So, a wall with coat hooks and a painted motto: if you don't need it, leave it. If you need it, take it. So that's the motto. So during a recent freezing winter in an Iranian city, people didn't just leave coats, they started leaving wrapped gifts. They left notes. To the person reading this, you matter. To the single mum, here's a toy for your child. Strangers were parenting strangers. Neighbours were loving people they would never meet. So in the past, as we all know, community was about who you live next to. In the present community, it's all about radical empathy. We are learning that the greatest gift isn't the one under the tree, but the knowledge, and you mentioned this yourself, that you are not forgotten in the dark. What we're seeing is that there's a shift happening away from the era of stuff, and maybe an era of empathy and support and kindness, despite what the news headlines tell us.
Well, it'd be nice to think so, and I'm going to talk just a little bit about that when we move into Christmas Future, funnily enough.
So that's the wall of kindness. It's happening in lots of major cities. People are setting up areas, communities, rooms, getting donations, and people can just come in to the wall of kindness. There's hooks and shelves and so on. You can drop stuff off, or you can take stuff if you need it. So similar to like a food bank idea, perhaps not so tightly regulated.
Excellent. And just another great example of people just doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't need governments to organise it, don't need corporations to organise it. We just do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the wall of kindness, would you be a leaver or a taker?
I'd be a leaver. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you've been clearing out a bit recently, haven't you? So you'd be decluttering, so you could leave some sort of sci-fi figures for the children. Oh, you don't like look at that, do you? No,
clearing some of those. I mean, I've been clearing some things out, man, but I'm not sure I'm ready to part with any Daleks.
What about that shelf for Daleks? I mean, you would be helping somebody out. Shall I take those tonight and give them to the wall of kindness?
You can take that little white wind-up one.
And what about that big golden one? I mean, a child would love that, wouldn't they? So, just for the listeners here, Jim is sweating now.
I can only. I'm not sure what, as we're recording, that I should explain to you what would happen to you if you tried to take that Dalek out of here.
So we're talking about kindness with limitations.
Well, I'm quite,
with exceptions.
I've got. I gave someone a travel cot, for example.
Yes.
A brand new travel cot.
Yeah.
That had never been used.
Okay.
That's better than a Dalek, surely.
Well, not for a 25-year-old single mother whose child doesn't live with her.
Well, then why does she want the Dalek?
Well, just to give to her frail grandmother for Christmas.
What does her frail grandmother want with the Dalek?
Well, she might be a legacy Doctor Who fan from the early 60s.
Yeah, but that's a new Who Dalek. That's from 2010, really, isn't it?
I don't think she'd mind. I mean, she's not going to see.
If she's a legacy fan, she's going to see right through that.
She's not going to see another Christmas. This grandmother, to her, that would mean the world.
Well, then she could have a legacy Dalek.
So, not.
Well, there's no point in it being that one, is there?
Okay. Well, that's the biggest and brightest. I think that would cheer her up the most out of all those Daleks.
Oh, I see. She's just interested in like big, shiny, not something that would matter the most.
Well, she's not going to be here next Christmas, so that would just be a joyful thing to see the delight on her face when she received that wonderful gift from you. There's something to think about there.
She can have the travel cot. Now, in Dickens, this is the scary bit. The hooded ghost, the doom, the implication if you don't change your ways, you'll die alone with a tin of celebrations, with only the bounties and the Snickers left. But we're not doing that. Instead, we're asking a much gentler question. What does Christmas look like if the good stuff already happening now actually just keeps going? So take energy for a start. Right now, places like Brixton Energy, Westmore Wind Farm, dozens of community energy co-ops across the UK are generating local renewable power owned by the people who use it. So imagine future Christmases where your fairy lights aren't powered by guilt and you don't need a second job to heat your house. Now that future doesn't arrive by magic, it arrives because people backed community energy, switched suppliers, wrote to councils and stopped letting billionaires decide whether they could afford warmth. Okay, food next. We already have community fridges, Fair Share, Olio and local food banks being run not by faceless systems but by neighbours who just showed up. So maybe Christmas yet to come looks like less waste and fewer people choosing between heating and eating. Health, well, we're watching breakthroughs right now in vaccines, cancer screening, early diagnostics. We know prevention works. We just need the political will to fund it like we fund everything else that breaks. So future Christmases might mean more people actually making it to the table and less pretending we're shocked every winter when hospitals get overwhelmed. Then there's community itself. Mutual aid groups, warm banks, community centres staying open. Not because it's profitable, just because it's humane. So the future isn't built by grand gestures, it's built by boring, persistent kindness. Which brings us to the bit where I gently turn to you listeners and say, here's what you can actually do. Not everything, just something. Support a local charity this Christmas. Even better, do you know what, support one in January when the tinsel's gone and the need hasn't. Buy less crap. I mean that lovingly. If it breaks before New Year's Day, it was never joy. Check in on someone. Not with, let me know if you need anything. We all know that's meaningless. Try, I'm popping round on Tuesday. Get the kettle on. Back the good stuff. Community projects, local campaigns, people quietly fixing things without a PR team. And when the chance comes, vote like future Christmases depend on it. Because they do. So Christmas yet to come doesn't need us to be saints. It just needs us to stop pretending none of it's our problem. So if Christmas past shows us what kindness started and Christmas present proves it's still alive, then Christmas yet to come is just waiting to see whether we keep choosing it. If we get this right, future Christmases won't be about surviving winter. They'll be about warmth, connection, and a world that feels, at least briefly, fine. Probably.
Well, I think we're going to look to move to an era of legacy. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Mm-hmm. So instead of cutting down millions of trees every year, why don't we make a pilgrimage and go and plant some trees? Reverse the fact. So that's a contribution to the planet, isn't it? And you can watch them grow year on year. Status symbol is no longer the most expensive gadget. It is the impact gift. So for Christmas, you could Christmas present saying, I restored a coral reef in your name, or I funded a scholarship. I mean, that's quite expensive. I probably won't do that one. But
no, you'll just nick my garlic and give it to an old lady who's dying.
Yeah, so I might do the tree thing. I could probably do that. So again, backing on what you said, it's not about consumption. It's about restoration. It's about using this time of year to heal the planet and think about the planet that sustains us. We talk about being kind to each other. We need to be kinder to our planet and the environment and all the nature that we're all part of. We looked at the astronauts, seeing with their own eyes that we are all connected and the need to unify. We looked at modern strangers who choose kindness over apathy. And then we've just looked at future generations, restoration over consumption. This season, I mean, you spoke to the listeners there and gave them a few challenges. I'm going to challenge the listeners.
Do it.
Also.
Do it.
So don't just buy the gift, Jim.
I thought you were talking to the listeners, not me.
And you.
Oh, and me, right, sorry, I'd stopped listening.
Don't just buy the gift, be the gift. Right, I can see you not.
No, my teeth were rotting.
Yeah.
The sacchariness of it.
Yeah, well, this is our Christmas special. This is what listeners want to hear in a Christmas special. This is us showing our Christmas sides, isn't it? So write the letter. Forgive the grudge, Jim. Forgive the grudge.
All right, I won't mention the Dalek thing again, but don't try and take it.
Light the candle for somebody else, not just yourself, for somebody else. Because, Jim, if we can find light deep in space, then there is always hope.
Wow. And that, dear listeners, I think brings us to the end of the Christmas Carol.
Well, Jim,
section of
Jim, weren't they beautiful?
There were some beautiful thoughts.
Weren't they beautiful sentiments?
I thought so.
You know, that makes a change to our world-weary, cynical selves, doesn't it?
I think we're like Christmas trees, aren't we? Our scraggy sides have been turned to the wall, and we're presenting the best of ourselves.
Yeah, this is a magical episode. I mean, I feel quite warm. I mean, I haven't taken my coat off. Maybe that's something to do with it. But I feel I'm ready for Christmas now.
Good man. So we've been visited by the past, the present and the future, and crucially none of them tried to sell us anything, so that already puts this episode ahead of most festive things. If there's one thing I hope you take away, it's this: Christmas doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be kind enough.
As is Christmas.
Yes.
Would you like a little quiz? Christmas quiz.
I would love a little Christmas quiz.
So what I thought I would do, because I know how much of a Queen super fan you are.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I thought I would do a Queen themed quiz. How'd you feel about that?
So I hate the fact that you've called me a super fan, because now when I get all these wrong, I'm just going to look like an idiot.
Yeah, well, you know, there's no pressure, is there? I mean, bearing in mind you haven't seen any of these questions, and you are going blind into this. So,
and generally just going blind, yeah.
You know who Freddie Mercury is?
I've heard of that guy, yes.
Okay. What was the legendary frontman's birth name? And I've got multiple choice, or did you want to jump straight in?
It's Farouk Bulsara.
Okay. Second question. Brian May's famous red special guitar is unique because he built it himself with his father.
He did.
Do you know what the neck of the guitar was made from?
I do, yes.
Okay. I'll give you some clues.
Well, it was from a fireplace, but yeah, go on.
Oh, you're going to go for fireplace mantle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. The neck was carved from the mahogany wood of an 18th century fireplace mantle that a friend was throwing away. That's superb. You didn't even need any more multiple choice there. So that's 2 out of 2.
Excellent.
You're doing well. Keep going. So, number 3. Which band member was responsible for writing the band's massive funk rock hit, Another One Bites the Dust?
John Deacon.
So, I'm just going to press John Deacon there. That's right, Jim. So, bassist John Deacon wrote this track, which became the band's best-selling single in the United States. This is very impressive because I did have multiple choice here, but you're not needing them.
I may have to fall back on it for some answers. We'll see.
Okay, right, number 4. Okay, here we go. Before Freddie Mercury joined, Brian May and Roger Taylor were in a band called what?
Smile.
A correct answer again. So, yeah, they formed Smile with vocalist. I don't suppose you know the vocalist of that. You don't need the answer for that. For a bonus point.
I'm going to kick myself. I know the guy who co-wrote Keep Yourself Alive, which is the first single. No, go on.
It's just for fun, this one anyway. Tim Staffel.
Staffel.
Okay, on the tip of your tongue there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, number 5. So, which Queen music video was infamously banned by MTV in the United States because the band members were dressed in drag?
So I Want to Break Free.
I Want to Break Free, so I'm just going to check that one there. That's right. So the video parodies a British soap opera. That was a strange video, wasn't it?
It was a strange video.
I think Freddie Mercury was doing the hoovering.
He was, yeah.
And they were all dressed up as sort of ladies, weren't they?
Yeah, I seem to remember John Deacon was sort of the old grandmother character. Roger Taylor was a schoolgirl.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Brian was dressed as now.
Yeah, but apparently the cross-dressing was misunderstood by the American audiences and MTV. So there we are. Number 6. Who designed the famous Queen crest logo, which features the zodiac signs of all 4 members?
Freddie did.
Okay, that's right. So, did you know you had a diploma in art and graphic design?
I did. So it's got the 2 maidens with representing 2 Virgos. You've got the Cancer crab, and you've got, which is the other one? No, I can't remember.
Okay, so he designed the crest himself at Ealing Art College. So number 7. What 1981 hit song resulted from an impromptu jam session with David Bowie?
Under Pressure.
And Under Pressure is right. Do you know where they had that original jam session? Just for fun?
No, I don't.
Do you know where the Queen's studio was? Just for fun?
No.
In Switzerland, apparently.
Oh, is there the Switzerland one?
Montreux.
Montreux, yes. The statue of Freddie Mercury stands outside of it.
So, Brian May, he holds a PhD, but do you know in which scientific field?
He's a physicist, isn't he?
Well, I'll give you the options.
He's an astrophysicist, actually, I think, to be exact.
Okay, right. Well, yep, that is the correct answer. He paused his studies to being Queen, but he returned years later to complete his thesis on zodiacal dust, as you would, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
And also a big fan of badgers. Also, a very passionate man, married Anita Dobson. Yeah. Just for a little bit of background there. So we're doing really well. We're 8 out of 8 so far.
Good.
And you haven't taken any of your multiple choice, which is brilliant. Here we go. Roger Taylor wrote, "I'm in love with my car," okay, which famously appeared as the B-side to which
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Straight in there with Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's right. The placement was lucrative for Taylor, as the single sold millions, earning him the same royalties as the A-side.
Yeah, it caused a few problems within the band, and it's why, after about 1984, there's no individual writer credits. All the writer credits are Queen after that.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Because of the disproportionate amounts. Awkward, for sure. So, here we go. This is for 10 out of 10. What was the final studio album released during Freddie Mercury's lifetime?
Innuendo.
So, here we go. The title track is a complex, multi-part song reminiscent of their earlier work. And the answer is Innuendo!
Boom.
Do you know when that was released? Just for fun?
Well, Freddie died in 1991, so it either came out in... Was it 1990, I think that came out?
So, just for fun anyway, it's 1991, which you did say, just for his death. And do you know the most poignant track on there, the one that features on that album?
Yeah, Those Are the Days of Our Lives.
Well, that, but also...
Show Must Go On.
And on that note, you are a Queen superfan, Jim. I think you were a bit worried there at the start.
Yeah, it felt a bit of pressure when you said Queen superfan.
But, 10 out of 10. Didn't take me up on the multiple choice, so... I think we should have to do another one of these in the future on somebody else's specialised subject.
Yeah, that's it. But a bit of pressure on someone else. Love
absolutely. It. Well, thanks for playing.
No, thanks for having me on.
And you've not let yourself down, which was the main thing.
I'm just proud I didn't let Queen down.
Absolutely.
What's the prize, by the way?
The prize is just, satisfaction for yourself that you just didn't let yourself down, and your family and your friends.
That's good.
And your work employees.
I've satisfied myself a good deal, so thank you. Thank you for that, Stu.
Well, my pleasure. So I think, that brings us not quite to the end of the year, because we've got something special next.
We have. Should we keep that a bit of a secret?
Shall we keep that a bit of a secret? Well, yes, but... look out where you usually get your podcasts on Christmas Eve. There might be something dropping into your stocking that you might like a tasty bite of.
Obviously, you might also want to keep an eye on the socials, because tomorrow we have a little pod outing.
Oh, we do, don't we? Yes. So, is it right that tomorrow we're going to be singing?
Well, probably more sort of drunkenly shouting.
Okay, all right. So this is Masioki, isn't it? So
yes.
There's nobody doing it individually. We all sing as a community.
Absolutely.
And what would be your staple if you were singing it individually?
Well, my staple when I sing individually is normally Daydream Believer.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
But what I know, keeping with the topic of your quiz... is that every time I've seen Masioki, the final track is always Bohemian Rhapsody.
Fantastic. Well, we've got that to look forward to. And also, that's not all.
That's not all.
Coming in your Christmas stocking. We've also got some extra Christmas rugby, haven't we?
We have. So on Saturday, we are heading back to Twickenham, this time to the Big Stoop, for the big game.
It is the big game, and we're going to be seeing the women, aren't we?
We are. So we've got Harlequins women versus Bristol's women kicking off at 3:05, and then at 6:00 the men.
So, how do you think the women will fare?
Well, after a slightly rocky start to the season, they seem to be getting firing a bit more. So I'm going to predict a win for the ladies, and on the big occasion, no player comes to their own more than Ellie Kildare. So looking forward to seeing Ellie work her magic on the Twickenham pitch on Saturday.
Looking forward to it already.
And how about the men? What do you think, Stu?
I think the men will edge it. They will edge it, don't you think so?
Dirty devils.
Well, it's that time of year, isn't it? We've all got extra days off, plenty of time to, think about edging.
Good. Thanks, Stu. Well, no, that's got to stay. That's got to stay. So, I think that's a good place for us to leave it. So, wherever you're listening from, on a walk in the car, hiding in the kitchen from relatives, thank you for spending part of your Christmas with us. If you've enjoyed this, the greatest gift you could give us is the ancient festive ritual of liking, subscribing, sharing, reviewing, and casually mentioning us to someone who looks like they might enjoy a podcast called Everything's Fine Probably. Follow us on socials too. We'll be posting at least pictures from tomorrow's drunken singing fest. Maybe no video.
There might be some.
There might be some video. We'll see.
And some video footage from rugby. There'll be snippets.
No, there'll be snippets. So that'll be nice. And we will be back on Christmas Eve, as Stu says, with something a little bit special. And then we'll be back again in the new year with more stories that prove the world isn't beyond saving. It's just going through a phase. Need to sit down and a cup of tea. Until then, take care of yourselves, look after each other, don't start any arguments you can't escape before pudding, and have yourselves the merriest of Christmases.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Jim, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Having everything is fine, probably Christmas. Don't life get you down, seize the day and make a difference. Jim, Stu, Shelley, and Jim will make your day brighter and show you the light. Christmas. Don't life get you down, seize the day and make a difference. Jim, Stu, Shelley, and Gemma will make your day bright.